My name is Catherine Burgess. I'm a Vogue model and star of the new X-rated thriller, Through the Looking Glass. As I'm talking to you, I'm really dead.
Through the Looking Glass. Penthouse calls it a work of art, while Playboy says it's a landmark movie, proving that hardcore can be handled with class. Come through the Looking Glass and experience this year's most controversial motion picture, Through the Looking Glass, rated X.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Celeste, Cabra, and welcome back to 15 Minutes with You, the segment where I review all the new titles on the Melusine site, so all the X-rated adult and sexploitation films. Freaks and perverts rejoice as we are back yet again. This time we're only discussing one release, but it is quite the doozy, so I guess let's just get into it. You know what, though? First, I'm just going to say that I have decided on keeping that name because I think it is appropriate, and I think it gives me a good barometer or sort of time frame to shoot for so that I keep my yapping to a reasonable sort of limit. Okay, so the only release we'll be talking about today is spine number 3 for the proper official Melusine line. The name of the film is Through the Looking Glass. It is directed by Jonas Middleton, or Joseph as his real name is. And first, let me just say some things about the Melusine line in general, because I think that they continue to knock it out of the park. I have all 3 of them. I've watched all 3 of them. The first one being The Tale of Tiffany Lust, and the second one being Blonde Ambition, and then the third one being this, obviously. First of all, the packaging. If you're a real packaging freak, like, you really gotta get on these for real. Like, they are so fucking cool. Like, they're like Godiva chocolate bars or something. Like, they're so, maybe that's not the best point of comparison because that's not actually a particularly bougie product or whatever, but they feel elaborate and sleek and beautiful and like Art Deco or something, you know? It's got that like very beautiful, classy New York aesthetic to the packaging. Like, they really did a good job in creating something unique. I don't know how to describe the shape in which the slipcase is, but it's like maybe like a ribbon or something. I don't fucking know. It's like it's a top-loading slipcase, and then you can just see it on the website, and then you can tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. But it's almost like like a bas relief or something. Like, you pull the top off, no pun intended, and then there's like alternate artwork underneath of it, and it's like in a kind of a like an arrow, like a down facing arrow shape, I suppose. And then you pull the slipcover out, and the slipcovers are completely custom made too, in that they are side loading slipcovers instead of top loading. So the sort of y-axis of the slipcover is the part that is hollowed out or open, or where you insert the case itself. And then they come with booklets and art cards, and it's just a whole thing. Also, the packaging itself, the slipcases are like a very soft kind of matte finish to them. There's really nothing else like it. And, you know, VS continues to up their game and invent new things in terms of packaging, but this might be my favorite, like, packaging that I've seen, really. It's just gorgeous, and it's a little bit of a pain when you have to pop the disc in and out all the time, but in any case, the line has been exclusively 4K, at least so far, and all the transfers have been wonderful, and all the films have been really good too. Like, Tale of Tiffany Lust is great, but Blonde Ambition, man, is so fucking good. So that's your quick mini review on that. But I would say if you're trying to get into adult films, I'm gonna recommend that, and I'm gonna recommend this, and it just kind of depends. You're the meme of the guy at the fork of the road, and you have 2 paths in front of you, okay? Yours to the left, you have Blonde Ambition, which is going to be, if you're into like comedies and like lighthearted fare and maybe like classic Hollywood screwball stuff, romantic comedies, that kind of thing. If you're into that, you should get Blonde Ambition. You should watch that. And if you're into sick, depraved, fucking bizarre horror art house, you should get Through the Looking Glass. Okay, so gosh, there's so much to talk about with this. I will say that the supplements on this are excellent, and you're gonna get your money's worth on this thing. Yeah, there's an entire second feature-length film. It is Middleton's first feature-length film, and it's fucking awful, but we'll get to that in due time. Let's first talk about Through the Looking Glass. So it's essentially about a woman who is haunted by the ghost or a demon, something like that. the visage of her recently deceased father. How do I talk about this without any spoilers? I'm not sure if talking about this would be a spoiler. Let's just say that she is tempted into a world of depravity beyond a mirror in her attic. And so beyond that mirror, there is just like fantastical worlds of sexual depravity. Let's just say that if you know what the ICU is, if you've been a follower of my ventures and you're familiar with that, this qualifies, as does the other film. There's a theme going on with this director, and look, I'm not judging or anything, but like, come on, man. Something going on there, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, the film is kind of a tough watch. It's not particularly erotic, although there are some scenes that are fairly erotic and fairly sexy. The lead actress is gorgeous. Jamie Gillis is in it, as he always is, killing it, as he always does. What else is going on here? Gosh, it's so much. I don't know. A lot of the promotional material talked about it as being like a sort of landmark artistic achievement in terms of the erotic space or like the sex film space, and I would agree with that. I think Sam Deegan said that it was the best hardcore film ever made. It's certainly one of my favorites that I've seen. Like, I wouldn't dispute that characterization. Oh, it was compared to Fellini. That's for you, Chris. So you should go ahead and get this too, host of this podcast. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, there's really nothing quite like it. And it is so bizarre and so disturbing and so depraved. And there's also sexy parts in it, but like, you know, he said explicitly that he made this to kind of antagonize the type of audience member that would go see something like this, and I think he succeeded, because I can't imagine anybody sitting down like wanting to jerk off to this and feeling like they got their money's worth. Like, I mean, sure, there's some parts. I mean, maybe you will if you're just, you know what, back in the day you had to take what you could get, right? But like this is clearly more of an artistic achievement rather than a sort of prurient or erotic one. The context surrounding the film is so interesting, and there's so much to get into. I'm like, I want to talk more about the film itself, but I don't want to spoil it. You know, like, there's so much crazy shit that happens here that it's best experienced blind, I think. Oh, there was like an endoscopic shot of sorts. There is an extended hell sequence at the end. There is just truly insane shit going on in here, and I don't know if you can tell, I'm gushing a bit. I really loved it, but it's just not for everybody. There's going to be heavy trigger warnings, and there's going to be heavy caveats. I subjected one of my normie friends to this, and they were less than enthused about it, so there's that. Okay, let's just go into the supplements. Okay, so there's 2 audio commentary options. One is like a new audio commentary. Okay, so Ashley West from the Rialto Report is just all over this release. I'm kind of shocked that this is like the first time that Vinegar Syndrome and Ashley West and the Rialto Report have like collaborated, because it's like a perfect match. And I think he's going to be doing a lot of this stuff going forward, which makes a lot of sense, because like, if you've listened to the Rialto Report, which you should if you haven't, it is like genuinely a perfect podcast and like professional, like documentary level journalism and historical analysis going on. And so it's great to see him taking a very sort of active approach with this stuff. But he does a new audio commentary with the director, but also the episode that he did with Jonas Middleton is another option for the audio track. And since the podcast is only an hour long, it does just kind of stop an hour into it, and the last 30 minutes are silent. I was kind of wondering how they were going to do that, but that option makes sense to me, because the alternative is just to create an hour-long video file of something of sorts, and that's taking up unnecessary space. So that makes sense to me. The podcast episode, it is available just on the regular Rialto Report feed. I would recommend listening to that, even if you don't buy this release. It's a great episode. You'll learn a lot, and, you know, maybe it'll get you into the podcast if you've never listened to it before. But really, okay, so what I want to go ahead and talk about, I feel like I'm spoiling something here too, but this is just so fascinating. It's not spoiling the film, but the director was raised in a very conservative Baptist church in New Orleans, I think, or Georgia. Deep South shit, you know? And that's not necessarily surprising in and of itself when you see the film. What's surprising is that he maintained that faith through the making of all his pornographic films, and even to this day. And he kind of says, look, I'm going to be upfront with you. Like, I justified this in my head at the time. Like, I was doing this to get a career going, and this was kind of what I felt I had to do. I was you know, I was putting in messages here to warn people away from this lifestyle, but, you know, I'm not sure that I'd do this today, because I think I was part of the problem. There's even a disclaimer / like warning at the end of the booklet where he writes a message to the reader and to the audience like, hey, I made this film to dissuade people from this lifestyle. I hope you take that away from this. There's an interview with him on this that Ashley West conducted, apparently back in like 2006, but it looks very contemporary, probably because Elijah Drenner, editor, filmmaker, documentarian extraordinaire over at VS, cut together the video for it, so it looks pretty contemporary and pretty fresh. But in that one, he gets into his kind of current sort of views, and it's unfortunate, like that fundamentalist upbringing definitely latched its hooks in there good. And he's kind of just has like dog shit politics now. He's like talking about how a woman's place is in the home, and like men are like weak-willed and need a woman to keep them in line, and like men just want sex, and as long as a woman can provide sex and like a good meal, like she's a good wife. It's just like, ugh, I don't know. He can play the part of like a conservative family man or whatever, like a traditional values type of guy, but look, there are certain themes running through his work. I'm pretty sure this dude's a freak and is just kind of repressing it. And I mean, you know what? Do what you gotta do. Apparently he has a wife and a kid and he's happy. More power to you, I guess. What else? Okay, so there's the sequence at the end, but without all the filters applied. It's just kind of a raw scan to kind of show a point of comparison, which is interesting. It's a quick locations featurette. There's a theatrical trailer for both of the films included, and one of the things that I found intensely uncomfortable, the trailer for Through the Looking Glass is pretty good. It definitely sells the film. Like, I was watching it and I was like, I mean, if I had seen this trailer back in the day, my ass would be seated. You know what I'm saying? Like, this looks dope as fuck. And then at the end, it says something like scenes shot with a 14-year-old girl or something. Like, it says that explicitly, and it's so gross. Okay, so there is a 14-year-old girl in the movie. She's not in any of the explicit scenes. And she was actually sort of cast, or I guess put in contact with the director by her mother, who wanted her to be in movies and stuff. And they took great care, apparently, to like make sure she wasn't around any X-rated material or anything like that, but she is in the movie. And it is a little uncomfortable in and of itself. But to then put that in the promotional material is like pretty gross. It's the implication is that you're gonna watch, child sex abuse in a movie, and that's pretty fucked up. But that's its own thing, I guess. Okay, Cherry Blossom from 1972. This one is not even on Letterboxd yet, but I'm going to add it as soon as I'm finished recording. But it's his first feature film. It's about a young girl who has sex with her aunt and then a bunch of other people. That's kind of it. So more entries into the ICU. It's a consistent theme is all I'm saying. Don't know what's going on there, bud. This movie's terrible. It's fucking awful. It is excruciating. It is truly an endurance test. One last thing I'll say about it, and then I think I'm done with the segment. Oh, real quick. There's a booklet in here with an essay from Ashley West. And actually, I think if you pick one thing to engage with, other than the podcast, which I think you should listen to regardless, read this essay. It's excellent. It really consolidates all the information and all the other sources into one place. The one thing I will note is that I'm not sure who edited this booklet, but it needed a second pass. There were some pretty egregious typos, and clearly like a few sentences didn't make sense, and I'm pretty sure that they were just that there were mistakes that needed to be corrected. This is going to drive me crazy. If somebody knows what I'm talking about and can help me understand something, there's a sentence in there that has just like, it looks like he kind of mashed the keyboard at the end, and I was like Googling that word to see if I'm missing something, and like I think it's just an egregious typo or something. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe I'm just missing something. Anyway, the essay is great. You should check it out. Oh, Cherry Blossom. One other thing that I'll complain about is that there's no subtitles for Cherry Blossom. It's fine that Vinegar Syndrome has stopped subtitling all their special features. It makes my job harder, but I understand where they're coming from. But if you're going to do a feature film on there, you should subtitle it. That's my little 2 cents there. Cherry Blossom. It's his first foray into filmmaking, into feature filmmaking anyway. Apparently he did a short film that he owns the rights to. I don't know why it's not on here. His second feature is not on here either. I'm guessing there's going to be a follow-up release with that and the shorts included. That would be great. But Cherry Blossom. Okay. This fucking thing has the worst dubbing I've ever seen in any film I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's not even close. They're not even trying. They're not even attempting to try. They'll be fully like somebody is eating pussy and like has full lines of dialogue, or like sucking dick and there's full lines of dialogue, or making out with someone and there's full lines of dialogue, or it'll be right on this person's face and their mouth is clearly not moving at all, but there it is, dialogue running as if a fucking person is speaking. That's annoying. But what's even more egregious to me is that like several times somebody will speak and the line that they're speaking will come several seconds before or after. It's like just match it. You did the thing. It's fine. Like they clearly they clearly did not have a script and they were like, fucking go hard, do whatever, fuck each other, we'll figure it out in post. And then I'm not even convinced there was a script for the person in the dialogue booth, but whatever. They went off, did their thing. It's terrible. Just like, if you're not gonna, just don't do it. Just don't do it. Just do it right. Write the script in the first place, or just don't have dialogue. You don't need it. It's fine. Okay. Because it's like mostly during the sex scenes that there's just like talking on top of it, and like you can maybe get away with like an inner dialogue kind of thing, but that's clearly not what's happening because they're communicating. I don't know. It really bothered me. One last thing I'll say about it, and then I think I'm going to wrap up the segment for today. You know, at a certain point when I was watching this, I told my friend I was watching it with, I was like, I feel like this is like the closest thing we could get to if like aliens tried to create a pornographic film. Like, it's so bizarre. It doesn't work. It's like someone imitating what sexuality might look like. And then I was like, you know what? Fundamentalist conservative Christian is about the closest you can get to an alien trying to make porn. So, okay, I'll leave it at that. The release is excellent. Buy it, check it out. It's an important film, I think. It's a really transgressive, fascinating one, especially given the context in which it was created. It was funded by a church. That's fucking crazy, right? All of his films were funded by like rich yuppies who go to a church in New York. Crazy shit. Different world we're living in, let me tell you. That's it. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want more stuff like this. Support me on Patreon if you want. It is appreciated. I'm going to hand it back over to our boy Chris. And until then, remember that the wages of sin are fear and death. Praise God.